Truly this was the Son of God. In today's gospel, these are the words of the centurion and his men. These are the words of eyewitnesses to Jesus' crucifixion. These words represent a deep recognition of who Jesus is. But the question is, who were the ones who recognized the crucified Jesus? In this passage, it's not his own people, not even any of his followers, but strangers, foreigners. In fact, they're members of a foreign occupying force, enemies of Jesus' people, the group that carried out his execution, Roman soldiers. Mark's version tells us that the centurion comes to this conclusion just by watching Jesus' last breath. Matthew uses different imagery. He starts us off with the image of a great earthquake. The earth itself is trembling at the crime of the execution of God's Son. And upon seeing this, not simply the centurion, but the men with him too, are struck with fear. But this also allows them to come to the conclusion that Jesus is the Son of God. They're convinced of Jesus' identity. Our tradition tells us that this man, the centurion, who's also identified as the soldier who pierces the side of Jesus in John's Gospel, was called Longinus. Longinus, according to tradition, left the Roman army to become a Christian and also suffered martyrdom for this Son of God. Longinus represents unexpected faith and conversion and has long been venerated in both the East and the West. But this excerpt causes me to pause for a second. I think one of the occupational hazards I find of those who work in ministry is to think that we are the experts, to think that in a sense we own the faith. And really it's the other way around. The faith owns us. It defines us. In this little portion of the gospel, we see a recognition of Jesus and a profession of first faith from an entirely unlikely, unexpected source. As we journey forward through Holy Week and beyond, the question we should ask ourselves is whether we are open to hearing the gospel proclaimed to us from unlikely sources. Are we ready to allow ourselves to be renewed by those of newborn faith? Or do we think we know it all already? If we think we know it all, maybe we don't know all that much after all.